welcome to the Decentralized Daily Podcast, where you get your daily dose of cryptocurrency news and information. The crypto news that matters to you. Nothing on this program should be confused with investment advice, because we don't give you any. It's not that kind of show, guys. Just the facts here, just the facts. So sit back, relax, gather your thoughts, and prepare yourself for today's market movers in cryptocurrency. All right. Welcome, crypto folks. Today is Friday, the 9th of February, 2018. You're listening to Decentralized Daily, our daily quick podcast update of your top 5 cryptocurrencies and the news that matters to you. I'm here with Heston Rennick from Killeen, Texas, crypto investor and enthusiast. Say what's up, Hesto.
What's up, guys? Good to be here again. We've got some big things in the news today. Lots of stuff going on in the crypto world, like always. So I'd like to remind you, if you're listening, first of all, we appreciate you. You can check us out at decentralizedtalk.com. You can find us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook at dtalkpodcast.com. And good to have you on board.
Yeah, check us out on the web, guys. We're growing exponentially right now. Every day, getting more and more followers, more and more likes. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing out there, helping us grow and helping the community expand. Let's take a look at our market movers in cryptocurrency today. Coming in at number 1, Bitcoin broke 9,000 once again, right? Almost half of its high, but we're back. So $9,042.99. We're up 12%. Ethereum at number 2 at $906.03, up 12.68%. Ripple, centralized currency, up 34% on the day, back to $1.06. Bcash, number 4, $1,386.34 at 11% growth. That's pretty incredible. I think a lot of people were expecting the big pump from the anarchist convention in Acapulco. And it looks like it's really continued. So I kind of got to eat my words on that. So we'll see how it does over the course of the next 72 hours. But right now, up 11% on the day, past yesterday where I think it broke 35%. So big gains on Bcash. And Cardano, which once again is holding its position over Litecoin for the top 5 spot at 45.9% or 45.9 cents and up 30% on the day. ADA, that's good for me because we bought on the dip, folks. All right. So let's get into some crypto news. We're waiting for our pages to load. Here we go. Bitcoin trades higher as equities bounce around. This comes from MarketWatch.com. Cryptocurrency prices climbed Friday with the number 1 digital currency, Bitcoin, trading to around a weekly high of 8,720. This article was published 4 hours ago, so it's a little bit lagged. The way the internet works these days. After a previous day's rally, which Bitcoin up 3.34%, more than 30% off Tuesday's 3-month low of $5,947. Gains have been harder to come by, with Bitcoin trading on either side of 8,000 for the past 72 hours. I like that stabilization, though. I mean, I'm not super worried about the gains as a Bitcoin ideologue. Call me what you want. I am.
So true. I think what this market needs really is some sideways trading for a long time. It's not entertaining. It's not exciting. It's a little boring, but I think what it would show is an undecided market on whether it should go up or down. You know, a mix of buyers and sellers, and eventually, because of the tech behind all these companies, it will eventually go up again. But I think it's good to stabilize a little bit.
Yeah, I love the gradual growth periods, even a flat to minimal growth periods. To me, that's good for Bitcoin because it keeps out a lot of the technical traders, the technical investors. So if you're purely technical and you're only in Bitcoin for the volatility and trying to capitalize on the volatility, we don't really want that. That's something that's artificially deflating the currency and artificially inflating the currency too, because everybody's trading based on technicals. We're going to talk about that later in another article. But as a late mover on Friday pushed Bitcoin out of its tight range as crypto investors finished the week on a positive note. Ether, which runs on the Ethereum network, obviously, was higher by 6.8% at $872, according to data from Coindesk.com. Elsewhere, after Thursday's 30% surge, Bitcoin Cash is trading 1% higher, so it's actually at 11. We covered that at the beginning of the show. And Ripple surged 14.5%. We know that's up 30% now towards the end of the day. So Friday trading, which is traditionally kind of a down day for cryptocurrency, is actually kind of a big explosive night that we're experiencing here. It's around 10:30 Central Time.
Yeah, okay, what gets me is, okay, BTC is up 3%. All right, it's up 3%. Tomorrow it'll probably be down 3%. Then it'll be up 13%. Then it'll be down 30%. And all these things to me, they're meaningless at this point. I think because the end game here is not 8650 or 9,000 or 15,000 or 10,000. It's nothing around that realm. I think if Bitcoin fixes some of the problems that it has, and not by hard forks, but by the Lightning Network and other ideas that are out there to speed up transactions and to make them cheaper, I think if they can fix some of those fundamental problems, 10,000 is going to be a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think so. For a lot of you new investors that are checking out the crypto space, and you landed on Decentralized Talk, and you're wondering why so many people they claim that Bitcoin is going to be $300,000, $500,000 a coin, $1 million a coin. Where does that number come from? And you can do a little deep diving into each individual person's estimates, but the broad base concept comes from the idea that there are less Bitcoins, right, than there are diamonds. So it should, at some point, once it levels out, right, when we hit the maximum amount of Bitcoins, it's going to be worth more than diamonds, right? Bitcoin, there are less diamonds than there are of the pretty much unchanging volume, right, of gold, right? Gold is something that has a finite value. The volume grows over time. But you've seen Todd Hoffman, right, on Gold Rush, right? Everybody's watched Gold Rush on TV. These guys are mining all day long in the dirt to collect little flakes of gold. To try to, they mine an entire season for basically like a 5-gallon bucket full of gold dust. And so how many ounces of gold are there out there? Well, there's considerably less Bitcoin at somewhere around, I don't know, 16 million that are left. And so that's where that valuation comes from. So for anybody who's looking to find out where those large crazy numbers come from, that's where they are. All right. In other news, Russian scientists are arrested for a Bitcoin mining plot. This is actually really kind of a fun article. So Russian security officers have arrested several scientists working on a top secret Russian nuclear warhead facility for allegedly mining cryptocurrencies. This is from the BBC. Suspects had tried to use one of Russia's most powerful supercomputers to mine Bitcoins, media report says. The Federal Nuclear Center in Sarov, Western Russia, is a restricted area. No shit. The center's press service says there's been an unsanctioned attempt to use computer facilities for private purposes, including so-called mining. The supercomputer was not supposed to be connected to the internet to prevent intrusion. Once the scientists attempted to do so, the Nuclear Center Security Department was alerted. Well, you'd think they would have saw that coming, being nuclear scientists. I don't know.
Well, yeah, can't predict the future.
Yeah, well, when you're a nuclear scientist and you get paid 8 rubles an hour, you know, to work in there, you're thinking mining might be actually probably like a pretty good choice. And they're in Serov, so that's like south of Moscow, southeast of Moscow. So probably pretty bitter cold. And
What better way to warm yourself up with a full rig, nuclear rig, just set up to mine Monero and Bitcoin?
Yeah, you know, you're probably right. They probably mine not out of. They weren't trying to mine
It's
any
like a
Bitcoin.
fireplace.
Yeah, they were just trying to warm the fucking place up.
Yeah.
So, so check that out on the BBC. Russian nuclear scientists are arrested for Bitcoin.
What I think about this, I mean, why not? Okay, if you have a supercomputer that's meant for, it obviously must somehow have a part in developing nuclear warheads for Russia. So if you have this supercomputer, why not use it to mine Bitcoin? I'm sure these people are going to get in a lot of trouble by that Russian government, but why not?
Yeah, maybe until they find out, like, oh, we got in trouble or whatever. But yeah, for real, we did mine like 50 Bitcoin. So maybe,
Yeah, and if they were smart, they mined Monero, because Monero, they wouldn't necessarily be tracked back to them. So maybe they mined something other than Bitcoin as well. The world may never know.
The world may never know. But yeah, super smart people doing super stupid shit.
I always love that.
All right, so here's another really interesting article. This one comes from CoinDesk. It's called 1,700 for Bitcoin. 1,700 as a price for Bitcoin, even though even Bitcoin's bear market is a case for being still bullish.
Quite a statement there.
So, as the first public asset manager to gain exposure to Bitcoin at $250 to the Bitcoin investment, ARK invested in Bitcoin and faced a number of questions and got a lot of ridicule in September of 2015. So just to put this in perspective, guys, the way this article is written is they kind of go over all of the big major faults of Bitcoin in the last probably 3 to 5 years. So ending a near cataclysmic slide from roughly $1,250 in November 2013 to $175 in January 2015. Bitcoin's price stabilized around $200 week moving average. For the next 9 months is shown in the green line below, and you can check that out again at coindesk.com and check out 1,700. Even Bitcoin's bear case still bullish. So Bitcoin is battle tested. Bitcoin has overcome a number of battle tests during the last few years, as shown below. And they have a graph showing the 50-week, 100-week, and 200-week moving average. The fluctuations in price are not really that great overall when you expand it out over the entire life of Bitcoin. So the Bitfinex hack in August of 2016 caused a flash crash, pushing Bitcoin below a price of $500. The People's Bank of China had a crackdown on miners in January 2017. Even our new folks are probably familiar with that. The SEC denied the Winklevoss Bitcoin Trust proposal on Friday, March 10th, 2017, which sent the weekend tailspin to a price of $935 before a rebound that following Monday.
That was still a mistake by the SEC, by the way.
Yeah, I think they're figuring that out too. I think the last government interaction that we had was net positive. I think it was actually much more open-minded. I think people compared to the previous explanations of Bitcoin and its volatility and its use on kind of the dark markets. In the past, there's a lot more focus on the dark markets. Now it's a lot more focus on the.
Yeah, I think for a while they couldn't wrap their head around it, and so they would just associate with the dark web. And now they're seeing different use cases and different utilities for digital assets, and not just Bitcoin, and specifically Bitcoin as a currency, but other digital assets as well, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, I read, just on a side note, I read an article recently that talked about the food industry. As you know, I used to be a broker in the private label food industry, and one of the big issues that we struggled with was dealing with tracing pathogens in like salads, for instance. So we're trying to find out if somebody's got E. coli, which batch, which lot number did that come from. In the past, it took up to 7 days to kind of figure that out. But a new test that came out through Kroger systems, actually on a blockchain, figured it out in 2.2 seconds. Exactly, like they found like the packaging.
Way.
It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do with a blockchain and blockchain technology. And I think that's becoming more and more obvious to people. So,
this article, watching the block tonight, it's really, really kind of neat.
Say it, beautiful.
It's beautiful when you see the blocks coming in, about averaging like 10 minutes, I would say, somewhere around there, 7 to 10 minutes. And you see them coming in, and then you go into the block and you see every transaction that comes through. It's really something amazing. It really is something amazing. Nobody would not a lot of people look at the like inner workings of it, but it's an amazing system that's going on that people can buy and sell these Bitcoin things.
Well, the fact that you can. The fact that you even can is crazy. Name another thing on the planet that has this broad of an adoption, that has. You could literally. It's like if you invested in a company, even a company that you invest in right now. Like, you can't knock on the door and say, "I'm a part owner of this company. I want to see." Like, look at the Packers, right? Like, everybody's an investor, everybody's an owner of the Packers, right? But you can't go up to the stadium and say, "Hey, let me bust in here. Yeah, let me take a look at this. Let me see what's going on here. Let me open the books up."
Yeah,
it's not even.
Sir, can you please leave?
No, I'm an owner.
Put your pants on.
Yeah. Sir, get out of here. Yeah, it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. This is the first time in history where something this large. I heard
nobody can impede. That's the thing.
It's totally public. It's totally.
Okay. I mean, I do think the biggest threat. I mean, we're getting off topic here because I know we're talking about lows and highs right now, but I think the biggest threat to Bitcoin is government and government regulation, because at the end of the day, they have a whole lot of power. And with power, they have strength over the networks that we use. Okay, so VPNs can go so far, but there's things that can happen. I just think the government regulation is the biggest threat to the space. Now, I think that's years away, though. So, for now,
with great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben said that.
Yes, and. What do most people with that much power do with it? I mean,
yeah, they have no responsibility. That's exactly. I mean, that's the fundamental point of the entire Spider-Man franchise. Is that with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility, and if you don't beat up the guy that's trying to rob somebody in the street, they're going to kill your Uncle Ben, and that's just the way it is. So, this article, so going back to the article, right, from Coinbase.com, they go over every single big hit that Bitcoin's had, and they say that these technical traders are getting involved, and they're looking at these different price shelves. So for everybody that was a Bitcoin advocate in even the summer of 2017, when the technical traders got heavily involved and tried to capitalize on the volatility, everything, all the different podcasts, all the different shows, everything on the internet, everything on the mainstream media, everything shifted to these dollars, these numbers. And it was no longer about this really crazy thing that was revolutionizing the world. And the word revolutionary didn't even come up anymore. Now it was just, what's the price of Ripple? Who gives a shit what the price of Ripple is? This thing is still growing. It's still changing the entire world. And so what this article is kind of talking about is that even if Bitcoin goes down to 1,700, it's still in a bull market because the people who believe in it are still believers into it. Somebody said recently on Twitter, it was hilarious. They said, somebody said, well, what are you going to do if Bitcoin goes down to $1 or goes down to $0? And the person replied, I'm going to put in a buy order for 16,283 Bitcoin. And so that's exactly what we do. I mean, we believe in the idea, we believe in the concept, we believe in the project, and we believe that
me personally, I don't care how low Bitcoin goes. I'll still be investing in it. Okay, maybe not Bitcoin specifically. I might have to take that back. Now, I am a big believer in Bitcoin for the next 20 years, but I think just because of the philosophy behind it, of how it can change so many lives, and the fact that I can send you, Brandon, some money instantly right now without having anyone involved except me and you, just amazing. And I think that
and it shouldn't be,
no matter where you are,
it shouldn't be amazing,
but it shouldn't. It should be something that's just, it's my money and it's your money. So why can't I just send it to you? Why do I have to get somebody else to send it to you?
Right. Even the internet that we're using, we're paying for the internet, the use of the internet. You know, we're engaged in a contract with our internet service provider to facilitate that transaction. There shouldn't have to be all these additional parties.
Everything is interconnected. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. My dad used to always say, everybody's got to get their beak wet. And it's just talking about, all the birds at the drinking fountain.
My dad used to say, buy Bitcoin.
A smart man.
This was in the 90s. I mean, he was really up on the times.
So that puts Bitcoin at a price, probably nowhere near $1,700, but at least significantly lower than it is today. So a $1,700 200-week moving average would be something that would be probably seen as devastating from a mainstream perspective, and yet it wouldn't change the idea, and it wouldn't change the truth that this is something that's very different, and this is something that can revolutionize the world.
That's all it comes down to, is the belief behind Bitcoin is it's something serious. I mean, it's something that really, really can change the world. And it sounds outlandish maybe, but it really can. And it's hard to see it in terms of America, because if you have a stable currency, or in a lot of these top GDP countries, they're not going to have issues because they have a stable currency. But third world countries, they can use something to transact between each other without having corrupt governments involved and unstable currencies. It's just something that can change the way we buy and sell things and send money.
Yeah, it's something that's incredible. It's something that is changing the world, and something that doesn't change in value, right? Is gold, right? Even though it changes in its dollar equivalent, its value doesn't change. what's crazy, what's happening in the market right now is that the stock market is dropping from all-time highs. So again, I don't want to say it's crashing. I think, if you're using the term crashing to talk about our current economy, it's probably just as silly as saying that Bitcoin is crashing from $20,000 highs. Both of these were up in these big inflated artificial highs, and so they've dropped considerably right now. But I don't think anybody, even if you look at the mainstream media for traditional stock investing, nobody seems to really be in a panic or worry. And if you talk to the OG Bitcoin investors, or basically anybody who got in on Bitcoin before the massive rally, then everybody's on the same page that was artificial. Now it's coming back to a normal situation. The thing that drives me the craziest right now is that typically gold is the hedge against the stock market. So if you think the stock market's going to crash, you buy precious metals. If you think the stock market is going to do great, you sell your precious metals and you get into the stock market. And they're typically inverse relation. If you look at the graph over the entire history of once we got off of the gold standard. The crazy thing to me is that right now we're seeing a retrace in the stock market and in gold. That's confusing to me, and I wonder,
Watson, something's afoot.
Yeah, so I wonder if it has anything to do with this this revolutionary thing that's going on.
I think it's possible. I think introducing another asset class can have an effect on other markets. So maybe Player 3 just joined the game.
Man, love it. Player 3 just joined the game. Love it. Quote of the evening. I'm going to tweet that out at D-Talk Podcast. Player 3 just joined the game.
I mean,
thank you so much.
The digital asset class joined, high-level investing and institutional investments. I think because it joined that class of financial markets, it bound to disrupt the other markets. And so I don't know if the traditional stock market, if they're jumping out and jumping into cryptos. I don't know. I mean, we saw a little uptick today, which is great, but I don't know if that's really what's going on. Well, time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we need to watch it over the course of the next 72 hours, but we've had some pretty steady hold around 8,000, broken 9,000 tonight, $42 up over 9,000 on Bitcoin. It's a good feeling. It's a lot better feeling than it has been over the course of the last.
Green's always a good feeling.
Yeah, green is good. It's like my kids say, green mean go. All righty, guys. Well, look, Heston, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us, advocating for us, retweeting us, and helping us grow in the crypto space. Check us out at D-Talk Podcast. We're on Tumblr. We are now on iTunes, and we're on Spreaker at D-Talk Podcast. So check us out, guys. We're looking forward to growing in the crypto space, and we're looking forward to growing our relationship with you while we all make it on our trip to the moon. So let's go to the moon together.
Let's go. I'm on this rocket ship.
On this. Love it, guys. We're going to be up there. We're going to be driving Teslas on the moon. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Have a good night.